Okay, so I think let's kick things off. How about everybody just kind of doing quick intros? How about you, Ben? Let's have BitBoy go first. Quick intros. Talk about your channel.
Yeah, so I'm Ben from BitBoy Crypto. If you don't know my channel, I'm a 37-year-old man who goes by Boy, BitBoy. I don't know why that is the case. Yeah, so I've been in the space, been invested in Bitcoin since 2012. I've been in the space creating content since 2018, early 2018. And, we try to make the best content on YouTube. That's what we try to do. I say we because I have a whole team of people that works with me to bring the latest and greatest crypto news, updates, coin research to my audience.
Awesome. I mean, so besides being a great affiliate with our token metrics, it's been a pleasure watching BitBoy's channel blow up in the last 1 year. Because I recall the first time I was on your channel was last year. I think you had me on for an interview, right? And back then you were kind of like on the come up. But man, I mean, BitBoy's now on top of the crypto world.
Good man.
Sure is.
All right, then Crypto Love, off to you.
Hey, what up? I'm Randall from Crypto Love, and I like to have fun on my channel, educate, and make a couple videos a week right now because I'm working full time as a veterinarian. And
back to the vet work. I didn't know that.
Cool. Yeah, back to vet work, and let's see. Basically, to help accumulate as much Bitcoin as I can before this thing takes off. And then, what else? Oh yeah, I've been making videos since 2017. I also got into crypto in 2017, and that's it. And this is my actual room. It's in my mom's basement. It's the basement window right up there.
Awesome room. All right, so from the mom's basement to the TV set, Coach K.
Yeah.
How are you?
What's up? I'm good. How's everyone doing? I'm Coach K. I bought my first Bitcoin after friends bothered me a lot about it. Bought 2.5 in 2013. Saw it drop like immensely and thought it was a scam, and came back in the space in early 2017 when people told me, hey, it's actually gone back up. And yeah, I started making videos. I was a teacher at the time, so I felt like there's a lack of education or lack of easy understanding for people that were coming into the space, trying to help them avoid scams. And yeah, I've been a fundamental and technical analyst in crypto, and TA started in high school. So it's been a long time just like looking at charts and understanding them. And yeah, I like helping people get into, good projects and help them understand what they are and, give them the technical analysis behind all that. So yeah, I'm Joe.
Awesome, Joe. So actually, Joe reminds me of where BitBoy was a few years back. So kind of early stage on the come up, but keep an eye on Coach K's channel. All right, then Bill.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Bill. I work with Ian. I got a legacy background. Don't hold that against me. For 12 years, I was Goldman's underground newsletter. So I was in a glass case that said break glass in case of extreme volatility. So I was like the equities therapist, and they would deploy me to help them with extreme volatility. Now, of course, in crypto, extreme volatility is every day, right? Oh, it went down 60%. Okay. Hey, want to go to lunch? It happens all the time. So in 2017, I got a call from some of my ex-Goldman readers, and they said, hey man, you got to take a look at crypto. You got to, we want to see like whatever you do, we want to see it for crypto. And I was totally hooked. Actually started keeping the charts by hand, pencil.
Wow.
All right. And, I got my crypto cred. I started working with Charlie Shrem. And then I moved over to Ian, and, I'm in crypto and I'm never leaving. So as Coach K said, any good technical analyst really wants to help people at the end of the day. And that's how I feel about it.
All right. Awesome team. And for those who don't know me, I'm Ian Bellina. I'm the founder of Token Metrics. Also friends with the whole panel here. I've been in crypto since 2016. Give up my job at IBM and working in IBM Watson Analytics to go all into crypto in 2017. People know me from vlogging and just creating content in the crypto space since 2017. I was known for publicly posting my crypto portfolio. basically Blockfolio at the time, was posting it daily. People saw me turn about 20 grand into 5 million transparently. Some people also know me from my spreadsheet, which has now evolved into what's now tokenmetrics.com, where we bring together analytics, AI, and experts like Bill to help people really get insight and help them with crypto investment research. All right, so with that being said, let's kick things off. So let's begin with Bill. Bill, kind of tell us your take on the market, then we'll have everybody else also kind of chime in.
Okay, so the big question for the market is, who is doing all this selling, right? So I dig into this, and let's consider two possibilities. One is higher capital gains taxes, right? And what that does to whales, right? The election's a coin flip. So if you made a bunch of bank in crypto, do you take the money? Okay. You don't have a 60% decline just because small investors sell. Then there's another angle. So I'll step out on the plank that it didn't get a lot of attention that the Russians outlawed Bitcoin for payment in July. And I'm also seeing reports that a huge crypto mining country, North Korea, is in serious trouble. And I remember in 2018, the big sellers at the end of the year was people selling for tax reasons and miners and big players bailing all at once. So what does this mean? Well, I think it means that you could get a better opportunity or a great opportunity to get involved in this market if you can hold off and wait while these big guys do their thing. Okay. Because, you know, this last rally could have like pulled a bunch of people in, right? Okay, here we go again. And then they wake up this morning and they're like, right. So that's how I would characterize what's going on big picture.
All right. Anybody want to chime in with their take on the market?
Well, Bitcoin right now, it looks like I was calling it on Friday. It looks like it's probably going to fake out, fill the upper gap from the CME, and then come back down. Too many people on Twitter were saying, hey, it's going to go up. When everyone says this, or everyone was saying it's going to go down, when everyone says that, I generally start to look at the market and look at other opportunities. So I thought, yeah, we'll probably fake people out, get them bullish. All of a sudden, you see over the weekend, crypto Twitter gets very bullish again. And what do we see? $300 drop really quickly before we even open on Monday. So it's an interesting one to look at. And we also have all the altcoins just massively dumped before that even happened. So it's weird to see the altcoins and the Bitcoin dominance start to rise out of nowhere. It seems like they were really strong and then they're really not, especially YFI and YFII. They had a really big dumps today. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing so far right now.
A lot of
I
people.
got a couple of speculations on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
So how about there was an irrational exuberance about the market for a while, and now there's a bit of a correction. And with the irrational exuberance, there was there was a huge price action, but the overall market cap didn't really move. So just people buying and selling the same coins with, I think, yield farming going on, and people not knowing the reasons why. Also, in the US, the free money ended. So people were getting $600 a week to sit at home and do nothing. And that ended a few weeks ago. All of a sudden that ended. Bitcoin prices dropped because they ran out of that money. Now they got to take the money out of Bitcoin to start paying their bills. And then, Bill, with what you were saying with a couple countries having Bitcoin, like hard times with Bitcoin, also what's going on in China with the floods. They have a whole bunch of mining facilities out there in the wave of those floods they have out there. And potentially some of those miners could be liquidating what they have to try and move their facilities.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
There's also, go ahead.
I would say that Bill, I think you're wrong about when it comes to what's going to happen in the near term with people wanting to sell for, capital gains taxes and things like that. September is by far the worst performing month for Bitcoin. It's not November, it's not December. where people are trying to get some of that stuff in at the end of the year. I wish I had the image I could show you that compares all the months. November is the most volatile month for Bitcoin, but September, I don't think there's ever been a green September. I think literally it's only been down. So I don't think it's ever had a green September. So this is just one of those times where we're coming out of the summer, where a lot of people are expecting things to heat up for quarter four. I did a video. I posted it yesterday on the channel, and I just feel like, I don't know, like sometimes I just want to bang my head against a wall when we talk about how in sync the Bitcoin cycles are with each other. And we are like dead on the last cycle. If we were to fill the gap, if we were to drop to 9,600, then that would mean that we would still be net positive 12% over the closing date, the day of the halving. The last cycle, it was 11%. And we're really exactly where we should be. I don't think it has to be kind of like reasons for each one of these sell-offs when we get these big sell-offs outside of just the principle of the cyclical nature of Bitcoin. If you go back to 2016 to 2017, there were 7 drops of 30% or more. 7. In January of 2017, not 2018, in January of 2017, Bitcoin dropped like 40% in 2 days, So I think we're just fulfilling about where we should be. We're tracking right along with where we should be. I don't think that there's going to be some gigantic sell-off and all of a sudden it's going to, the price is going to go down because psychologically the CME gap exists. And none of us are going to feel comfortable having the price push forward until we fill that gap. Now, when we were at 12,000 and we were, looked like for a day we might stay above 12,000, where we were, I think we got up to like 12.5, something like that, definitely over 12.3. And then, of course, it pushed down big time. At that point, I was starting to think that maybe we would fill the CME gap after the bull run. But think about how scary of a proposition that is. If we go to $200,000 and people are thinking like we're going to correct down to 9,600, and that'll be the rallying cry. People will say that all over Twitter. It'll be like, remember, it's going to go down to 9,600 and stuff like that. So it's really better for us in the long term if we do fill the gap. And it's technical analysis is difficult to learn. Anybody can, if there's a legend on the chart that shows like this is the RSI line, you can see the RSI line. But to really understand it takes a lot of studying. I ain't got time for that. Personally, I'm not really that interested into it. I'm more like fundamental analysis, as the day is long. However, when it comes to the CME gap indicator, if you will, when anyone looks at that chart, they can see the gaps. You can see them. Like anybody can see them. You don't have to have somebody tell you, like, look at this giant gap in the chart. If you're in crypto, you're not used to seeing those. And so I feel like it's a concept that everybody can understand, even the like most novice retail investors, when it gets explained to them. They can understand it. I think that for some reason, even though there is no fundamental correlation between these CME gaps and them acting as the magnets that they do, the fact is we all accept that as truth at this point. We've made the correlation psychologically. So that's just what I think is going to happen. I think we're going to have to go down, fill that gap. Hopefully by the end of this week, we'll be right on target for where we should be, and we should be hitting new all-time highs in December, according to last year or the last cycle.
Interesting.
All right, very interesting. Yeah, so I would say I probably agree with that as well. So right now, just kind of looking at it from our perspective with the models and the AI, they're very bullish. They're very bearish on Bitcoin this month, right? So until that changes, because even our price prediction models have Bitcoin going as low as possibly 8,100, right? So I think people definitely should buckle up. This could be a pretty rough 1 to 2 months, especially as we get closer to the election. I think that's also something where lots of people, especially in equities, might go on the sidelines, which might pretty much push things for Bitcoin until probably Thanksgiving and Christmas, because that's typically when people like to kind of FOMO into crypto, right? So I think kind of that same time frame reminds me of 2017, right? Kind of as BitBoy mentioned, things were pretty bearish historically in September, but as we kind of get past Thanksgiving and get into Christmas, people go back home, they start telling the family about their gains, in crypto, and just kind of, I think, just word of mouth, people began to kind of evangelize and get more into Bitcoin and crypto. All right.
Yeah.
Anybody with any other comments on that?
Yeah, some statistics. September is a horrible month, but if you look at like traditional election years and like the traditional equities and basically legacy finance, those are really bad months. September and October, every election year. Actually, October is the worst month of the election years ever throughout history. So I've talked about that on one of my videos to kind of break down like why September could be bad, similar to what BitBoy's talking about. And when you really like analyze the data, and then you go to like you look at your technical analysis, and then you go at things like token metrics, and they're all saying down. I mean, I told people before at $12,000, buckle up, we're gonna have a correction. This is normal. We're gonna probably go to like 9,600, 8,400, somewhere in that range. So be ready for it. Either short or go out of the market and hold the USDT. You can buy more Bitcoin. But it's obviously their choice. But this is what I was saying to like my good friends, like this is what I'm going to do. And you guys do whatever you want. But at this point, I think it's been a right decision. And we'll have to just wait and see. We'll have to wait and see if I'm still correct. But right now, it was a smart decision. And I think waiting and being patient is the hardest thing for everyone, whether you're a technical or fundamental trader. Is the patience can really kind of wean on you, and when the second you switch your bias just because you're impatient, you usually get wrecked pretty hard from those decisions. So my advice, if it's not financial, is just like as a person, be patient. Don't be in a rush to do anything in life. If you think something's going to happen, just use your gut, and if it's telling you something, listen to it.
Wait, are you telling me that FOMOing in is a bad idea?
No, it's the greatest idea ever. What about risk management? I don't see many people talk about that either.
That's because it sucks. Let's go big or go home. One thing that I've been really thinking about is I'm going to admit something right now. I'm going to reveal BitBoy's strategy. I sold a lot of the top about a month ago, and still have altcoins I'm holding, switching strategy on some stuff, but I sold top. It started feeling a little like, what's going on here, So definitely the majority of my crypto holdings I still have, but I did it, and I could not have imagined how great of a decision that would be. When I did it, I was doing it because I had some stuff going on. I was getting ready to buy a house. I was doing some other stuff. And so I said, you know what? I think right now things are going so well, I need to take some profits right now. So I took the profits, and then the market crashed. I crashed the market, guys. It was me. But the market crashed after that, pretty slowly but surely. Not all of a sudden overnight. But that decision that I made to do that was so great for me that it reminded me that when we had 7 drops of 30% in 2016 and 17, we get too caught up in looking at the absolutist, vision of bull and bear. It's either a bull market or it's a bear market. That's it. But when you really can make the money, when you can really take advantage of the trends, is when you can sell the top and buy the bottom over and over again in that bull market. You want to do, mostly what the trend is doing. So we believe the trend is generally going up. So when the price starts going up, take some profits, and then they go down, buy back in if you have money on the sidelines, or and I think that is one of the main things that separates someone who's able to make the maximum amount of money during a bull run versus the other people. Because you got to remember, anytime that you're making money, someone else is losing it, right? Because somebody's out there, buying and selling, doing the opposite of what the market is doing. And we know the retail investors usually lose. And I think that's one of those things, forgetting to take profits even in a bull run. That's one of those things that I think really kills retail investors generally, because we all know hodling is the dumbest strategy in crypto, because you will always end up with no money. Always. If that's all you do is hodl, eventually you will end up with no money. So you got to remember to take profits even when things are good. That's really when you should be taking them. obviously.
Now, I mean, I'm just kind of, I mean, I kind of do agree with that, but partially, right? I think if you hodl the right coins, you can make money, right? Like somebody who hodled Bitcoin from $1 made money, right? But
Yeah.
if we're talking altcoins, then definitely, and I think you definitely have to be careful because lots of them are shit coins, right? So just kind of being able to know the game you're playing and being able to get out, as BitBoy mentioned.
Yeah, but
All right.
but I would like to counter that though, and I would like to say that it sounds great if you bought Bitcoin for $1 and you hodled it up to $20,000 and then you hodled it back down to $3,000. I think I can make an argument that you've actually lost more money than you've gained. By not selling the top or remotely close to the top, you're actually losing out on a lot of money. At the end of the day, those are the people everybody wants to be. You want to be the guy that got in Bitcoin, not like me in 2012, and you sold it all early, and you should be sitting on, piles of digital money or real money, and you're not because you were dumb. But you want to be the guy that invested in it early, but there ain't like a Bitcoin type opportunity probably coming to us again, where you can make that crazy exponential amount of growth over 10 years, like you were saying. So people are yearning for gains everywhere,
Yeah.
So I get
All right.
Fortunes
actually-
are made.
So actually, I think that's a good segue to our next topic. But with that being said, please tell us what you think about everything down in the comments below. Okay. All right. So next topic, let's have everybody kind of share with us their favorite coins right now. What cryptocurrency they think, obviously not financial advice, they think could be the next 100x. So what's the next Bitcoin, the next Ethereum? Anybody want to go first?
I just said there was no next Bitcoin, didn't I? You guys really okay? Nobody better answer that question.
Putting you on the spot.
I'll go.
All right, Crypto Love.
So I think the next Bitcoin is still Bitcoin, and everyone forgets the exponential function, and like everybody wants to be a Bitcoin millionaire, but they forget how long it took most Bitcoin millionaires to be a Bitcoin millionaire. If you watch that video on YouTube about the kid who's a teenage Bitcoin millionaire, he held Bitcoin for 6 years. How many of you have held Bitcoin for 6 years? Very few. All right. So it's an exponential function, and it's still very, very early on. Like most people who actually have money in the world are just learning about Bitcoin. And when they learn about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, they're going to want the name brand one. They're going to want the one that they can buy everywhere. They're not going to want this risky alternative to Bitcoin that they don't know much about, that who knows it has a kind of spotty smart contract. They're going to want the real name brand thing. So that's one of them, I think so. And then if you want more of like a speculative one, I think Kusama, because a lot of people are talking about Polkadot being the alternative to Ethereum. Well, Kusama is kind of the same type of thing, like a sandbox for Polkadot and created by Gavin Wood, one of the original developers of Ethereum. And it's still kind of down there on the charts. So those are my 2 cents.
So quick question for you. So you're more bullish on Kusama over Polkadot?
Yeah, because Polkadot's like 4th in terms of market cap or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it has. I mean, I think it's a great project, but I just don't think it has the opportunity for
upside
gains as Kusama does.
Mm.
But didn't you also just argue that Bitcoin was the next Bitcoin? It's number 1,
Oh, right. Because, here's the other thing that most people don't realize is a fixed amount of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
There's 21 million. They're not making any more Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin is the hardest money that's ever been available. And other people will be like, well, there's low supply altcoins, like Wi-Fi only has 36,000 or whatever. But guess what? It's not one of the original 21 million Bitcoin. Okay. So it's like the hardest money ever. If everybody were to start mining gold, we'd have more gold in circulation. If everybody were to start mining Bitcoin, the difficulty would go up exponentially, and there's still only ever 21 million, and people lose them all the time. So fixed supply, small amount. I still think, I could be very wrong. I could be completely 100%.
Bro, you're starting to sound like one of those maxis, dude. I gotta stay away from those maxis, dude. That's not good for Token Metrics business. Okay, you also know tm.bitboy.live. Thank you.
Yeah, go on Token Metrics and check out the ratings. Number 1 rating up there is Bitcoin.
Yeah. Understand. I would say though, just about the Bitcoin comment that you made there, which is the problem with Bitcoin is that the average person cannot afford one. Period. So even though it sounds great, own one Bitcoin and you can have financial freedom, most people can't afford $10,000, $12,000 for a Bitcoin.
So they're supposed to speculate on a cryptocurrency and lose all their money instead.
So you're supposed to buy XRP because it's the truth, right?
Absolutely, though, what you're saying, the
Like,
gambling attitude that you're, the gambling attitude.
95% of traders lose.
Yeah.
Or basically with Bitcoin, 95% of the time you're winning. Looking at historical Bitcoin price, you have 95% chance of winning based on Bitcoin price.
Yeah,
so you either have a
long-term,
95% chance to lose as a trader, unless you use token metrics,
Yeah.
or
But a 401k makes people money over time as well. You know what I'm saying? Like there are other kind of investment if you're just like, oh well, it's all about making money, positive gains over a long period of time. The thing is,
True.
is people. Okay, the people that can get rich still right now on Bitcoin are probably already in a position where they're more patient because they already have money. If you have enough Bitcoin to where from this point you're not rich, but you're going to get rich, you already got a lot of money, And by rich, I mean $1 million more, whatever. In California, that's not even a lot of money, okay? But our audience, the people who are watching this right now, I know there's a guy watching in India right now who's making $2 an hour. He ain't going to be able to buy Bitcoin. But you know what? He could scrounge together enough money to get half an ETH, And if that price goes up, crazy amounts, then he could diversify that and do some other things. I understand people are going to lose trade. People are going to lose trading when all things are even. But when we're in a bull run, and you can, buy in the red and sell in the green is a pretty, simple concept. But that's what the people want. The people want the highly speculative coins,
Right. Oh yeah, I'm not going to argue with you.
That's what they
totally
want.
100% right there. People want the speculation.
They want to gamble.
Society of gamblers.
Yeah. And that's how a lot of people got into crypto is gambling and accepting Bitcoin on gambling sites and
All right,
things like that.
so BitBoy, your top coins besides Bitcoin?
Yeah. So I got a lot of highly speculative ones out there, for sure. I mean, people that watch my channel know what those are. But I'm actually going to say, this is the advice that I give to people I know in my real life that are like, they know I do crypto, they know I make money, they know I do well, and they ask me, how can I get in? The thing that I tell them to do is Ethereum and Chainlink, maybe Tezos. I direct them to those because they have the highest, they have high ceilings with not a really deep floor, at least through a bull market. VeChain is another one that I believe is going to have some of the biggest returns in the bull market. It's the leader in its niche. It's the leader in its niche of supply chain tracking that actually has a lot of use case, So I think it's got a lot of potential for really, really, really explosive gains throughout the bull market. And then, there's we all know the Uniswap coins. I'm actually getting into yield farming a pretty good bit right now. I've decided I'm going to beat the learning curve, and I have. So that's where a lot of good gains are coming. So, people, the retail investors are investing in the yield farming tokens, but the people that are really balling, they're making the tokens, through the yield farming. And that's where there's a lot of money right now. So, but once again, kind of like with Bitcoin, yield farming, you kind of got to have some money to make some money. But yeah, I will say one project I like that's a really low capper is Distx, DISTX. They are a platform, a token sale platform where they basically verify and prevent rug pull scams on Uniswap from the coins that launch on their platform. And we all know, I fell victim. I lost $40,000 a couple weeks ago in a rug pull scam. So we know, we know that those are serious, they're real, but yet the highly speculative gambling nature of people that love to live, I'm starting to call them low cap crack rocks these days instead of gems. That's how you make the money but also how you lose it, so it's very volatile. So I think a platform like Distx that's able to make sure that these projects are legit, preventing people from losing money, I think something like it could do really well. So that's my low capper of the day, I would say.
All right, thank you.
Nice.
How about you, Bill?
Okay, well, as you can maybe tell from the picture behind me, I'm an Ethereum guy. And I think one of the best things that's happened with this market cap push, where like your chain links and especially your polka dots, people got tired of waiting for 2.0, right? And all these things started to push up the market cap chart to the point where they've got to be sitting in Ethereum headquarters going, we need to work faster. Okay. 2.0 comes out, it gives you all kinds of benefits. The benefits of Ethereum, very simple. The SEC has said it's not a security, it's a currency. And as we've seen with the whole DeFi explosion, it's also like a tech stock. So it's like a tech stock you can pay for things with in theory, right? Small coins, right? To me, DeFi means an interest rate or like a mini yield curve. Everyone's like, yeah, crypto is money. We had the whole conversation, you know, Bitcoin is where it's at. Absolutely. One of the things that legitimizes Bitcoin and crypto as a whole is if you have money and an interest rate system. And some of these things like Ample, you know, laugh or cry about what that thing does day to day, right? That has like money supply management. So everyone's like, oh, DeFi is a bubble or sushi swap. No, people forget the negatives. Crypto's got an interest rate system. And some of the smaller coins like Kava and Ren, right, where you've got like lending for speculation, it almost feels like securities lending in some ways with Ren, where they can take these different coins, wrap them into a smart contract, right? Some of that stuff's, you know, real complicated sort of crypto gearhead. But at the end of the day, you got an interest rate mechanism for crypto. So when the legacy, when it comes time, and believe me, folks, as we all know, the time is coming when people go, you know, this legacy system and the casino that's going on in equities, when that all stops, when that all ends, either ends badly or just ends, people are going to go, okay, I got equities over here and I got crypto. Wow, they have yield farming interest rates, alternative money. I don't need this anymore. So that's like a 2021 preview and the coins I like.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Coach K?
All right. Surprised no one said RSR. I'm very bullish on RSR long term. They have real world use case. It's been on a massive bull on its own. You know, they're already in Argentina, Venezuela. I'm sure Brazil's coming up. And the whole mechanism of holding RSR, burning it for RSV, which is a stable coin, is a very interesting concept. Also, Peter Thiel being behind it. You know, a couple of us, I think, were in the token sale for it as well. I think that's a really bullish coin that everyone should be looking at. It's built on Ethereum.
Which
and,
one?
their
Which
main
one?
nets,
Could you say that again?
Reserve RSR.
Oh,
Reserve
RSR.
rights?
Yeah.
Reserve rights, yeah. So I think that's one of the coins that I'm mega bullish on, heavily invested into. So that's full, you know, being full disclosure there.
Yeah, I didn't
And
get
there's
in the
another
token
one-
sale, so can we FUD that real quick? I was not in that. Okay, so it's a terrible project, guys. I reserve the right to FUD this project.
Another one that no one's really talked about that I've been kind of bullish on because I know the CEO and I've seen them develop a lot, and I've seen them develop because I'm in Thailand, and I've seen them develop stuff like your visa on arrival will be on their app soon. They've developed a COVID app, which the Thai government's potentially going to approve. They also have the insurance companies here. So they have a lot of stuff set up. But on top of that, they're basically Travala, but like with a lot of hotels and other things. And there's a lot of snippets from the team that they're going to be potentially in the Chinese blockchain network. So I don't know if that's for sure. I haven't been told that by anyone that's going to happen, but that might be the next project on the BCN. And they've kind of on their Twitter alluded to that potentially happening. So with what they're doing, there might be something with like WeChat or with Alipay or something where they're going to integrate, and they have DeFi and their own a similar system to RSR where they have their coin, but you can also get a stable coin. I hear there's DeFi coming. So they have a lot and no one really talks about them. So it's one of the ones that's kind of under the radar in my list.
Obviously, BNB. Everyone knows that CZ will not be beaten in any market. I've been saying it since $19 that he's going to do stuff. I called BSwap out 12 hours before they did, which was quite interesting. And then another one in the Chinese blockchain network is Iris, another one that's really good to look at. Obviously, we have the links and the Rens and the ETHs and all these other ones, but if we're looking at ones that potentially have huge gains coming behind them, I think that those are the majors that I would be looking at right now. Uniswap, it's kind of a shitcoin graveyard. You don't know really what's coming out of there. I even have I have my own channel which I call Unishit, because literally it's just, you don't know what you're getting into. This whole distext thing I've heard about as well, BitBoy, and I think that this is something very interesting. Making sure that you don't get rug pulled, because yes, you can get 100,000% APY, but if you have a 90% chance or a 95% chance of getting rug pulled, is it really worth throwing in 10 ETH to see how that goes? And then the only thing with yield farming I don't like so far is these crazy fees that you're paying. Just so that you can
in
do
the
it.
amount of transactions you have to do, like if you want to make any move, God, it takes 15 minutes, you know, because you got to do like 17 different transactions. I actually, yesterday, I was in a project and it went up to 27 cents from where I bought in at, I think, 6. And I was like, I'm getting out. Okay, I'm getting out. But I didn't have any Ethereum sitting in that wallet because I had like swapped it all out. And by the time I got Ethereum into the wallet to run the transaction to sell it, it dropped down to, 17 cents. Still nothing to laugh at. But, I mean, I miss selling the top, not because I wasn't smart enough to do it, but because I didn't have any Ethereum sitting in my wallet.
Or not enough Ethereum, because all of a sudden gas goes up to like 50 bucks just to get it out.
Well, it's
so
crazy.
Yeah.
I think this is where they have the dots. Those guys are going to come in and try to, poke a swap. We, a couple of us know Makoto. Like, I think that's going to definitely challenge the Uniswap game, because it'll be faster and cheaper. And you're seeing like Tron, even though I'm not a big fan of Tron at all, I really think it's a scammy project, but Tron's gotten a lot of their yield farming going, and EOS is starting to come in. So I like to see that. I want to see some competition, as it's been just one-sided. And then you also have the Serum, the Sam SBF or whatever, I can't remember his last name.
Sam Bankman-Fried.
Yeah, Sam Bankman-Fried. He's someone who's kind of like CZ in a way, where you don't really want to bet against him either.
All right, interesting list. So from my perspective, in this order, right? I'm more bullish on Ethereum than Bitcoin, but I'm bullish on both, right? In terms of, if you had to ask me, Ian, what cryptocurrency would do 100x down the road, I'm still bullish on ETH and Bitcoin. Now, the reason why I think Ethereum will overtake Bitcoin in market cap is because everything that's happening now, all the smart contracts, all the dApps is happening on Ethereum. While Bitcoin is king, Bitcoin is basically building its use case as a store of value. But when it comes to DeFi is really the holy grail of crypto. And I think that right now is Ethereum's race to lose. If the only way Ethereum cannot overtake Bitcoin is if Ethereum just fumbles ETH 2.0, right? So bullish on Ethereum, Bitcoin. After that, very, very bullish on PokerSwap. Our dev team had a chance to go through and basically do an in-depth code review, and Polkadot, right? Very, very bullish on Polkadot. Polkadot is the truth, essentially. They're trying to bring interoperability to the blockchain space. Yes, it's competing with Cosmos, with Icon, but right now Polkadot is the best project out there, and we think this is probably the only project out there that can really give Ethereum a run for its money, even though it is compatible. So long term, very, very bullish on Polkadot. Outside of that, if you had asked me for low cap coins or gems, I've been very bullish on Helium ever since I had a chance to go to San Francisco to meet the team. It's done pretty well so far, and it's been pretty stable during the market crashes. So Helium Network is definitely worth keeping an eye on. Right now, Coinbase is in the process of evaluating to add them possibly, and Binance did add them in the US. So definitely worth keeping an eye on that one. I've always been bullish on Blockstack and Matic Network as well. Those are, I would say, very safe low cap gems compared to other low cap gems out there from a technology standpoint. Very, very good projects. Matic does compete with XDAI. XDAI does also have good technology. We're still in the process of basically checking out their fundamentals, but from a purely code-based perspective, very, very good. In terms of promising tokens that are launching this year that haven't launched yet, our team does love 1inch exchange. Very good technology. It's basically a DEX aggregator. So watch out for that. They should be launching in the next month or so. Worth keeping an eye on.
Is it not
Also,
already? Is it already out? Can't you use it now?
yes. So the DEX
I've used
is
it.
out,
Yeah.
but the token.
Oh, the token.
Yeah.
Token.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I think that not to interrupt here. Not that I'm above interrupting.
Go ahead.
I do think though that exchange like DEX tokens are going to be like just like exchange tokens, exchange utility tokens were real big last year. I do think that is going to be a really big niche. Because that was definitely one I was thinking of, 1inch and then balancer as well. So there's a lot of
Balancer's great.
potential there.
All right. Anybody with any other comments? Nope. Awesome. Cool. Well, tell us what you think down in the comments below. Okay, so I think let's take some comments. Let's take some questions from the audience. How about BitBoy? Any questions with your audience?
Well, I have so many comments. I don't. Here's one. It just says chain link question mark. That's a question. It's got a question mark. One thing that was a joke, but somebody really did say that. One thing that I have seen a lot of people say is one of those projects that has momentum behind it, big names that we haven't mentioned at all, and people have thought that surprising that in the midst of this discussion, no one mentioned Cardano. I don't think anybody mentioned it. So people are asking, what do you think about, Polkadot versus Cardano? Because you said Polkadot could be a potential, Ethereum killer. There is finally though an opening for someone to compete with Ethereum due to the gas fees if they're not able to fix it with ETH 2.0. So we should start looking for who that is. So anyone have any comments on Polkadot versus Cardano, which is ironic because Cardano's logo is a bunch of polka dots.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. I mean, so I'll preface this by saying Cardano has good technology, actually great technology. I would say technology-wise, it's definitely on par with Polkadot, kind of based from purely a code perspective. But in terms of community and just narrative, we think in terms of really competing with Ethereum, I think Polkadot right now has the best opportunity. Now, that's not to say Cardano cannot do well, but I think just purely based on having their narrative of interoperability, of DeFi, of Gavin Wood, and just being new and sexy and shiny, that kind of takes the attention of the crypto community, while ADA is basically the old project that's been around forever and is still building. And I think people would have just kind of pushed it aside because maybe it's taken too long, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, they both do have good technology, but I think if I had to place my money into one project, I would say Polkadot over Cardano.
Hey,
Now-
look, the stages that Cardano uses for the roadmap, with the scientists in there and stuff, the chicks definitely aren't sexy. So they look they don't look like even back in the 1800s you've been taking them on a date. So I mean maybe I'd list them. So a lot of you guys have never even touched the physical touch of a woman. So
No, please don't. I would say for Dot, I mean, I'm really big in the private sales space right now, and I mean, if it's on Dot, it's gonna sell out very quickly. Everyone doesn't give a crap about a lot of these other projects. Some of them do. There's like Rio, and that's one of them. I think Frontier Wallet is on ETH. There's definitely competition between the two. Gather. Mantra DAO. So there's definitely, we can see that both sides are producing some really great products, new projects that could have, really those are the multi-X gains that we're going to see, like the Alliance blocks, which listed at 70X and things like that. So I am looking into these guys. Some of them are ETH, some of them are Polkadot. But when I go and ask people, what do you guys want me to try to, score as an allocation, or what are you guys looking at? I would say about 70% of people are saying, man, here's the list and it's just Polkadot projects. This is what we want, especially things like PokaSwap. Oh my God, it's like a bunch of crackheads in a room with a little piece left and they're all
it's me. I'm the one. It's me. I'm the one doing that. It's me.
That's what it is. Like they're all just like, give me that crack, man. I need it. I need that crack.
Low cap crack.
It's like it's Tyrone Biggums, how many?
Put him on a thumbnail.
Yeah, so that's what I'm seeing and that's what I'm hearing. But both are providing good projects. But when it comes to gas fees and stuff, if it's a yield farming project, if they're gonna do that, a lot of people are like pushing now towards dot. Great technology, interoperability. It has more than Ethereum does right now. Now, I mean, that will change if ETH 2.0 performs, but I'm just concerned that ETH 2.0, it's going to take longer than I think people expect to change your blockchain basically completely. I find that if we're talking about Cardano, ETH was kind of like Charles Hoskinson left ETH to kind of do what DOT has done. Like he wanted to leave to make a proof of stake. And I kind of feel like when you look at Cardano, that's exactly what he's tried to do. But, there is things that are competing with them, especially Cosmos and DOT. So it's really interesting to look at all of them. And I think not one of them has to be the best. I don't think you have to kill Ethereum. I think a lot of them can coexist. You can have Pepsi and you can have Coke and you can have Fanta, and all of them do really well. So that's also something we can think about because the space is so small. I mean, we don't even have $1 trillion market cap yet. Gold has $7 trillion in itself.
Don't say any of that to those Bitcoin maximalists because they think only one coin. Okay, they think in every other thing that exists in the world, there's multiple choices, except for Bitcoin. It's the hardest money. You can only use it. These billions of dollars in altcoins are just gonna disappear in a giant crypto rug pull scam, I guess. I don't know.
And it's super fast Bitcoin too, right? Like super fast.
It's funny, like Bitcoin as a currency is dead. Anybody that's still pushing that narrative is not realistic. Bitcoin yes. I can see him at Starbucks now. Hold on guys, let me open up my Lightning channel so I can receive this for your frap.
All right, how about you, Crypto Love?
Yeah, I think that when I've never been, aside from like the very beginning of Cardano back when it was like 2 cents up to the run up to $2, I haven't been much of a fan of Cardano. And I think because it became such a fanboy project that everybody already bought into it and everybody already owned Cardano, that there was no place for it to go, no place for it to go up. And then Hoskinson, he brought in all these scientists, engineers, and academics. And while that sounds great, they move at the speed of paint drying or snails or slow.
Or a COVID vaccine.
There we go.
Same people. It's the same people, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. So they got a bunch of good ideas. And then I wasn't a big fan. I'm not a big fan of what's happening in crypto, of people making promises and not really standing up to them. So when he had the whole Shelley testnet thing and he said it's going to happen or I'm going to eat a shoe, and then he didn't eat a shoe. Like I wasn't a fan of that.
McAfee,
or he's like
where's McAfee at right now, bro?
Yeah, or McAfee who said he's going to eat his own dick, and then
it was a joke all along.
Yeah. Then he spirals it back and says, "Come on, guys, you really thought I was going to do that?"
Yeah.
Yeah, we know what you're into. We kind of thought you might.
Yeah, we've all seen the movies. Come on.
Right. So, but I mean, Polka is definitely a shiny new thing right now. Definitely the shiny new thing. It feels like I wasn't around in crypto when Ethereum first came out, but it feels like what I imagine Ethereum was like an open development environment to get a whole bunch of developers in there. Like that's what I imagine Ethereum was like back then. I never felt like Cardano was like that. I felt like it was like a hired scientific staff to develop this project. And so I think because of that, it could be a lot more nimble and quick and potentially show something.
All right. Bill, any comments to add in terms of Cardano, Polkadot, Chainlink?
Sure. I think when you start talking about Cardano or any of these, what they would call this term I'm seeing now, like sort of almost like old cycle or prior cycle coins and alts, that Cardano, for whatever, quality it has, is going to get lumped in with, I don't know, your Dashes, your Zcashes, and all of these, your Bitcoin Cashes, all of these old cycle coins where people are basically sitting around holding bags, watching, stuff moon now over 9 months. And now they're asking themselves, if there's a normal correction in a bull market, right, which is basically what BitBoy was highlighting, if you have a correction in a bull market and there's a buying opportunity, am I going to hold this old cycle stuff, or am I going to jump into Chainlink or Polkadot? Right. And I think the answer is clear, right? The bag holders are going to dump this other stuff, even if it's down, right? Which could, okay, so we could have a rectember, whatever, but that's probably their mantra. They'd be like, okay, I'm done with this because I know a year from now, I'm going to be better off with Link or Polkadot, based on, it's not just a shiny new object now, but it'll be the shiny new object later. And I'm over holding this stuff. Cardano.
It also goes with the crypto trader mantra of buy high and sell low.
Yeah. Well, at least we all do.
Right.
Anyways.
Or there's stuff that you've held for a long time that's still in profit, and you're just like, you watch, and I've done this myself. I've watched stuff that's in profit, and I'm like, should I wait for it to go up like another 20%, or should I sell it and buy this new shiny crap coin that probably is going to do 25x on the second it drops on Uniswap or drops on an exchange? Like, I'm looking at those and going, yeah, I'm going to sell the Neo, that I bought at $9 because it's just Neo. Yeah, it might do really well, but come on. That's my opinion. Like,
yeah, I think that that is a good point. I'd say if you have bags you're tied to, like, man, there's nothing better than being free of them. It's sunken cost fallacy, where you believe that you have too much time invested into this financial investment to give up on it. But what'll happen is the price will go back up, and then people will dump it, when it hits a moderate level, and you'll be thinking like, oh, it's on the way back up, and you'll stay married to your bag, and then you'll get wrecked all over again. Because that's a great point, and man, that's a good video idea I'm going to do probably this week, which is, the average retail investor, okay, and that's, I don't know about Bill, okay, that guy, he used the word Goldman Sachs, okay. For me, okay, I've never done any institutional investing, okay, or anything like that, or accredited investing, maybe one day. But so we're mostly retail traders. Everybody you're watching on crypto YouTube, for the most part, retail traders, or at least that's how they came in. That's what most people are. So the fact is that your retail investors will be much quicker to sell those bags at losses because you want to jump in the housing thing. However, the people with the big bags, the founders, the foundation members, the advisors that got in early and never sold, those are the people that are waiting for the price to hit a break-even point for them, and they are going to dump those bags. So I really like that idea, of thinking about the projects from the last bull cycle and whether or not, they'll be able to have the juice in the next cycle because of that happening, where the whales are going to dump every time it starts to get. Now, of course, listen, I believe everything almost is going to hit new all-time highs. I mean, that's just what's going to happen in the parabolic part of the bull run. So I think people will be able to get their money back on those projects. But the question is, would you be better served taking the money out now and, putting it in the new hot, shiny tokens? Because we do know that on average, I believe it's about 45%, so about 4 to 5 of the top 10 changes over every single year. And we've actually seen more changing in the top 10 over the last year than I think we've seen in any other cycle. The top 10 has just been constantly in flux. When if you look back at 2018 to 2019, it seemed like that top 10 was like set. Now we're looking at, Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin SV, like maybe even getting shoved out of there soon.
About time.
Yeah,
time.
Bitcoin
Jesus.
SV for sure. Yeah. I don't mind Bitcoin Cash too much. I don't trash talk it, but I don't love it. But
All right. Well, thank you, Ben and everybody. Okay, so Ben has to leave.
Yeah, I gotta cut out.
So to all our audience, be sure to check out BitBoy Crypto on YouTube. Hardest working man in crypto, posting content, fire content. Keep it up. Thank you for having us. Best of luck to the Falcons next week.
I know, right? And just so everybody knows, I'm giving away a full Bitcoin on the channel. So if you're not a subscriber to my channel, you can visit that's the number 1 btc.bitboy.live, 1btc.bitboy.live. to enter that giveaway. We're giving away some other crypto too, so I thought that could be beneficial to everyone's audience. So, all right, guys, for my channel, this is it. We're out. I got to go do another thing right now, so I will see you guys later. Thanks for having me.
All right.
BitBoy out.
Thank
Peace,
you.
man.
Good
Thank
boy.
you.